Hello, everyone. It is Othania here with Create Your Future. And today I'm going to talk about how to collapse an unwanted timeline. Now, I'm going to just start out with an example. I'm going to use the example of money. So, you're, say that you want to manifest a good amount of money that is the next level of money when it manifests. So say that's $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, whatever is your next goal. All right. So say you want to, let me just throw out a number. Say you just want to manifest $20,000 a month, but when you go shopping, you are feeling pangs of anxiety of spending. You are feeling really anxious about spending in general, or just questioning yourself, when is the next time I'm going to get this back, or holding on a lot to the money. That means that you're still on a timeline, if you would like to call it that, but I like to call it that so it can help put things in a perspective for you to understand better. That means that you are still on a timeline, you are still in the mental space of the person that is not wealthy enough, right? So in order to get on a timeline and collapse the timeline where you are feeling, you know, not wealthy enough, you have to start being in command of yourself consciously to shift that. Okay. And the way that you do that is now you have to start being aware of how you feel when you spend. Okay. So be intentional about it. When you go out and you spend the next time, gather like a analysis of how your body felt when you was about to spend something, the type of thoughts that was going through your mind, and then look at it later and then adjust that to what you should be doing if you were the person that already had the amount that you wanted to manifest. And you want to play with that mentality. You want to get accustomed, you want to get acquainted with that mentality now. So that way you're starting to now shift the mental state of feeling like you before, when you were spending, it was a lot of anxiety. You want to start shifting that mental state and start feeling more confident when you spend. So you want to start telling yourself things like, that's why the affirmations work. So you want to start telling yourself things like, spending is nothing, money is nothing, money comes to me like nothing. I get paid to do the things that I enjoy. I get paid for just being me, because that is the mental state that you will have as the person that is wealthy enough, right? Because obviously you'll be doing something that is bringing you that amount of money that allows you to think that way. You get what I'm saying? So that is what you want to adapt. That is who you want to be. Now, for example, to collapse the timeline to have a better relationship, you cannot continue to keep being the person that thinks from an anxiety mindset. You cannot continue to be the person that feels like they're always out of control and has to do things always in the physical reality on purpose to try to get a result. A lot of the things that I notice is that people will make excuses for inspired action. And when I say that, I mean they'll learn about inspired action, and then they'll take it like, oh, um, I'm inspired. You see a post, right? And be like, oh, I'm inspired to contact my SP now and see what they're doing. Like, but you still haven't really became enough subconsciously to be able to handle if you don't get the proper response that you would get, that you would want, that you would get. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of lost my train of thought there, but what I'm saying should still continue to make sense. But yeah, you can't continue to think that you're not the person that doesn't have this person and think that you're going to get that person. That is not the combination of the lock, and that is not the proper recipe to get what you want. You must start consciously shifting yourself and thinking in better ways of yourself and connections to the things that you want. You have to be the one to shift yourself mentally. I think I was talking about inspired action. I was saying something about inspired action. A lot of the time we learn about inspired action and you get inspired and be like, oh, let me hit up my SP. But you're still full of full of anxiety. And that's not inspired action. When it's inspired action, you don't even realize that you're taking an action. There's really not much of a conscious effort when it comes to inspired action. Is just something that kind of flows. It's just that's the best way I can put it. If it's something that you have to keep questioning yourself on, or should I do this? And let me do this now. And if I do this because I feel inspired to do this, and then I'm gonna get what I want. That's like kind of like a fake forced inspired action. When you're taking inspired action, you're not even realizing that you're on the bridge that's leading you to get what you want, if that makes sense. But yes, so back to collapsing a timeline to get better relationships, whether it's romantically, friends, family, whatever. You cannot continue to be the person that thinks as a person that has a problem in that relationship. You have to start embodying, coming up with a thought process of the person that has it. And you have to start making that your goal more than trying to get the thing outside of you. You have to make your mental process a goal more than trying to get the thing outside of you, because the reason why you don't have the thing outside of you is because you haven't yet stabilized the mental process into the mental state that is needed in order to sustain the thing that you want, if that makes sense. So you have to, in order to collapse timelines with whatever it is that you want, you have to be able to consciously make the effort to not think as the old version of you, as the person that needs the assistance on how to manifest these things. You have to consciously become the person that thinks a new way. And how you get from the A to B is you yourself have to analyze what you're thinking now and change that with a little bit of mental effort on your part. Okay. And it's not something you don't want to keep treating this as something that's like, oh, I'm doing this. And if I do this, then I know that I'm going to get this and this, because then that type of energy, if you're not careful, can keep putting you into the anxiety feeling in your body. And who really wants to feel that feeling every time they're trying to do something, right? The point is to be able to know who you are truly, which is the God of your reality, and be able to grow patience with yourself and trust yourself. That is the goal. The goal is not to constantly want these things outside of you. The goal is to feel whole and complete within yourself without those things, because the reason why you don't feel whole and complete now is because you feel like you need those things and you continuously keep chasing those things outside of you, because what you have in here is not settled yet. And you have to settle this first, because you are the most important thing. If there's chaos going on within, then there's going to be a lot of chaos going on without. So you have to make sure that your goal is to calm the chaos within. And that's how you collapse your timelines. Because what's going on out there is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So to get on a new timeline, you have to make the conscious effort to become the new you. And you have to genuinely do that for yourself, and not just genuinely do it because it's like, oh, then if I get this person, then that's how I know I'm going to be validated. And if I get their attention, then that's how I'm going to feel good. And if I have this amount of money, then that's the only way that I could feel good. And if I don't have this, then I can't feel good, because then that means that you have not sustained enough of peace and stability within yourself. And if you don't maintain a certain level of that, then you cannot keep certain things that you want. If you cannot maintain a certain level of peace and stability when it comes to your finances, then you'll be chaotic with your spending. And if you're being chaotic with your spending and feeling anxious within, then your particular activating system, right? Because your brain is a part of your body, right? It's all, everything is all connected. And with your nervous system is out of place, you usually won't make the decisions if your mind was more in a calm space. Your particular your particular your particular now today I can't say it. Activating system, um the RAS, we'll say that it will find better things for you to focus on and have you make better decisions, because now you're in a different state of being. You have a different embodiment. Everything is connected and everything is playing its part. So you kind of basically need to have the proper, I said this before, you need to have the proper combination in order to unlock the lock. So say like the combination to unlock the lock is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the embodiment you need. 1, 2, 3, 4 to unlock that reality. But you have right now 1, 2, 3, 6. You have some correct, but you still need to tweak that little bit of last number in order to unlock the lock and unlock that reality. So that's the same way you got to kind of look at it. Okay. And then when you look at it like that, it kind of becomes easier, because if you want the perfect relationship, but then you still like, you're still saying, if you're a woman, that men can never be faithful, but you want a perfect relationship, but then you still have like men can't be faithful as a core belief, then that will be a representation of that 6 that I just said in that combination lot, that you would need to adjust and put that 6 to a 4, which will be believing that men are faithful, and then you can unlock that reality. And then you will collapse the old timeline and you will find yourself on a new timeline, because now you're seeing things differently with your new installed beliefs. I intend that I have made a lot of sense. I intend that I've given you enough knowledge to understand how to collapse timelines properly. And you can also, before I finish, you can also collapse time. Not only can you collapse timelines for the better, but you also collapse your timelines for the worse. For example, when things are going out great, and then you start letting the fears really take over you, and you don't shut them down, and you let it live, 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 live. You don't have no opposing positive thoughts that will overweigh it. Then you will collapse yourself to a timeline where it will give you some level of that fear. You understand? So you can collapse your timelines either way, and either way is done by what you are dominantly thinking, what you are dominantly feeling. Everything is playing its part from you. So you just have to make sure that your combinations are in order to unlock the timeline that you actually want to be on. So just to wrap things up again quickly, you do that by analyzing how you think about things, and whatever it is that you want to change, you have to make the conscious effort to change that and think that every day in order to collapse that timeline and be in a new reality. So if you feel like you're ever in the need of my coaching to help you assist you to do that, There's a link in the description box below where you can check out my availability, and Create Your Future also has a free course where you could check out, which is very helpful for you. And yeah, so until next time, see ya.